something you want to be aware of there as well. But all right, man, let's move it along now to the PFF preview. We've already hit on this first screen. We're going to hit on it again, though. We hit on it earlier in the week. We just want to make sure, see where the line's at, make sure everything's holding steady. It's still 6.5, so you can see the market has the Packers as 6.5-point favorites. When you look at the money now, Emilio, 51% of the money is on Green Bay. 57% of the tickets are on Green Bay to cover the spread. Feeling a lot better about this game now. Less of the public money is, it was swayed pretty heavily on the Packers earlier. Now, the overall money line, you don't focus on that as much as you do the line itself, the spread, but the money line still got 96% of the money with Green Bay, 94% of the tickets with Green Bay. Don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Just wanted to mention that's kind of where that's at. We're going to get into the lineup aspect now and compare player to player. The PFF projection does have it as a more of a 7-point favorite as opposed to a 6.5-point favorite. Really closing in on 7.5 points. So most of the time you'll see PFF on the opposite end, right? Not most of the time, but sometimes on the opposite end of the market, and that makes you go, maybe their analytics are showing something that maybe the market is overcompensating for to get that money that's coming in closer to that 50% mark.
And that's the home game for the Cardinals, right? They get 3 there roughly with that.
Yeah.
So we're
1.5 to 3 points. I'm still old school. I say 3 because people I trust in the gambling community, they still say 3. But many people have this narrative that they're preaching now that no, it's actually 1.5 now for home teams.
So that would bring us to 9.5, or that would bring us to 3.5.
So
if you gave them that 3,
if you give them that 3, essentially what that means is, all right, they caught 3 points already, and we're still 6.5-point favorites. So if this was played at Lambeau, you'd be calling it. It'd probably be closer to 9.5.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's where it would be. So, and again, last week we were 14-point favorites. You only won by 9 points, right? Isn't that crazy to think about? Like that people were complaining we won by 9 points.
Yeah, not good enough. Didn't hit the 14.
What's that?
Not good enough. We didn't hit the 14 like they called for, right?
It's unbelievable, man.
And maybe people just need to stop putting money on the game and just watch it, right?
Just stop trying to convince yourself that you understand everything about the game. Because the reality is nobody does, guys. Nobody does, And when we try to approach it from the standpoint of, oh, yeah, they're 14-point favorite. Well, Matt LaFleur, they better boat race this team. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Watch this game. I've watched the NFL since roughly 1992, right? So I've been watching it now. I don't know how many years that is. It's a long time. I've been studying the game since around 2009. And I'm telling you, man, I'm still mind-boggled that people have gone their whole life watching the game of football, specifically the National Football League, and they're still surprised when a bad team competes with a good team. It's like, I know you've been watching too, but have you been paying attention? You know what I mean? Because it's like this every week. I mean, we just seen it last night with the Bengals beating the Steelers.
Yep. That's it. Any game.
All right, let's dive into it, Emilio. Let's just kind of look at their offense against our defense. We'll do it backwards tonight. All right. So obviously they got Brissett starting here, minimal snaps, but he's played the last few games. 76 PFF grade, looking strong. They showing Carter in the backfield here with a 61.5. When you look at their offensive line, is that Paris Johnson? I think that's Paris Johnson.
I believe that is.
Yeah, let me make sure. I think it is. Yeah, Paris Johnson. So obviously former number 6 overall pick there for the Cardinals. Of course, everything resets. You got to love it, right? Gotta love it. So he's grading out a 77.5, pretty stout there at left tackle. Let's jump over to right tackle. Williams, a 60.2. Left guard, Brown, 59.4. Right guard, Hernandez is showing a 33, minimal snaps. Horrible grade there. And then they got Frohold at center. He's the 9th highest graded center at a 69.1. When you look at that offensive line, according to PFF, and again, I'm not saying it's everything, but according to PFF, it seems like the right side of that line is going to be the weak spot, Emilio. So this might be the Rashawn Gary game, right? He's been due the last couple of weeks. He's been great in the run game. Might see him get some significant pressure in some and a sack or two in this ball game. It wouldn't be surprised.
I like a couple overload looks on the right side. I like a little bit of, mug in, move Micah around, stack Micah and Gary on one side, something like that. Let's switch it up. They do have the good base down though. You got a good center. You got a solid blindside tackle. If you can keep that right tackle in good shape, they have a pretty good setup there. just maybe not the best road grading line. Let's see if they can keep their quarterback clean, for longer than 2.5, 3 seconds, and we'll see where this D line is, because I think that we have probably the advantage so far on the O line D line look.
Yeah, sure. So that's how the offensive line looks. Now, when you match up our defensive front, Micah Parsons, 92.4. He's the highest graded edge defender. I know Detroit Lions fans lose their mind when they see that, but he's the number one edge defender in the National Football League right now. And then you got Gary opposite him at a 70.8. He still leads the team in sacks. He also leads the defensive line in run stops. So obviously, he's more of a run-stopping defender, more of a balanced defender, as opposed to Michael Parsons, who just, hey, man, turn it loose. They're going to double and triple team you. Just play with your hair on fire, try to get to the quarterback. Now, we're showing Carl Brooks at a 52.1 and Kobe Wooden starting in the middle of 66.4. The one I want to see get at least 20 snaps is Warren Brinson. He flashed last week. Listen, guys, it could have been a fluke, right? No two ways about it. However, if it wasn't a fluke, and he goes out this week and gets, 15 to 25 snaps, and all of a sudden Warren Brinson cooks, you might see him start to unseat some of these, just going to get yourself more playing time. So I'm excited to see if Brinson's a real deal or not. But just looking at the offensive line and the defensive line as a whole as it sits here, Emilio, how do you feel about the way we match up against our offensive line?
I think we definitely had that upper hand there. We've got the edges. We're set there. I think we're still a work in progress in the D tackles, especially with Wyatt out. But it's the perfect opportunity for everybody behind him to take that and run with it, right? It's the next man up mentality. Everybody has to be ready at a moment's notice to get out there and play. Brooks, we love him. He's had a couple of great years, but then he kind of, he's teetering off the past few. Wooden, we were worried wasn't going to make the team. He's been scaling it up the past couple of years. So everybody's sort of building to maybe what they can be. But yeah, you take a D tackle at the end of the draft. He doesn't end up starting right away. You bring in the undrafted free agent to sort of be your starter. And then again, that draft pick was actually the right call, maybe all along. You got to get him reps. You got to get him time. And I think that's not where Kenny was a progress stopper, but the older the guy, you have more opportunities now for those young guys to get reps early, get them often, get them now in the regular season before we try to make a playoff push or anything like that, because at that point it would be too late to try to get them reps and get them ready.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, moving along to running back, we hit on Carter, 61.5. Trey McBride is the one we talked about being a Tuesday player. You can see throughout his career so far, a young career, only 4 years. This is his fourth year. 51, 76, 86, 78. So he has become a really good football player. Again, when you dive into the metrics a little bit deeper, this year, not a whole lot of yak going on, right? So kind of played to that advantage a little bit. His receiving grade, however, an 80. His offensive grade overall is 78.4. Run blocking grade, not too shabby either at the tight end position with a 65.1. How does he stack up against our linebacking core? Edgerrin Cooper is now the 15th highest graded linebacker in the NFL. Quay Walker is at a 62.2, sitting 39th. So again, Edgerrin Cooper sitting at 75.8, putting together a solid sophomore campaign here. I think he's going to do nothing but get better as the year goes along as well. And I love the fact that they're staying healthy, knock on wood, right? So I like our ability to shut down Trey McBride, because you're also going to have Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams probably both rotating in and out of the box to help cover Trey McBride. In the past, what you've seen is the safety on the tight end the majority of the time. So what do you think about Trey McBride matched up against our safeties and our linebackers here, man?
Yeah, Coop, the young guys are holding it down. Obviously, you're not maybe super happy with McKinney and Walker's grade, but they know what they're doing out there. Those are the vets. They know what's going on. Wes and Mike were talking about it. And we're talking about Cooper. I was just looking here. They actually have Cooper as the highest targeted person on this team, 35 targets, 30 receptions. So Cooper's actually been asked to play a lot more coverage this year than he did a lot last year with his loops and scrapes and those sort of things, because we already know what he can do with that stuff. We need to make sure that he's squared away and knows where he's going. We pulled it up on Chalk Talk, didn't we, Clay, where Coop kind of got caught in the middle. Nothing against him, but you weren't 100% sure when that star receiver came over there. What's our adjustment? How are we approaching that? Where's my, where do I got to get to my spot? I'm not mad at Coop at all. I think he's had he's a 85 receiving percentage for the players, 183 yards against him, about 6 yards a catch. which isn't horrible. Dude's got the speed to do it, got able to cover. I think just putting everybody in different spots will just only benefit them down the line. You're never going to have the same exact rep every single week.
No, I think that's all very well said. And again, when we watched that tape with Coop, what Emilio's talking about is, I believe it was 11 personnel. They were in a trips left or a trips right look.
Yep.
They motioned Jamar Chase over to the left. And when he motions over and then they run that route concept, you can see it was a cover 6 call. It was 2 left, 4 right. And basically when the ball was snapped, you could see the two side. They didn't change it, right? And some would say the original call, yes, it was a cover 6. But when he comes over to the left, it's almost has the counter effect of like a cover 9 look. And with the cover 9 defense, guys, it's really simple. With the cover 9, it's on the weak side of the formation, you're playing quarters. On the strong side of the formation, you're playing half. So it kind of turns into a cover 9 look, although that wasn't the plan. And you've seen the safety bail the hell out of there. It's like if they're trying to run some kind of switch release here, they may get us here because of the pre-snap adjustment or the pre-snap motion, but they are not going to hit us for a touchdown. Right?
And that decision in action by X is why we've only given up a 34-yard pass.
Bingo. And I have no idea how he's only grading out a 62.4 because if the stats I heard the other day were correctly, he still has not given up a catch all year long. So McKinney has been lights out. I don't know what they're watching on tape over at PFF, which, by the way, did you hear what Pat McAfee said about PFF the other day?
I missed it.
So they went on a big rant about PFF. And you guys know we've been very critical of PFF. We use it every week because it's another metric. It's another set of eyeballs that are on the tape, supposedly. Pat McAfee said that a player told him that Uber driver picked him up at the airport, right? Picked up this player, unnamed player. And that player was on their way back. Maybe it was Chris Long. Was it Chris Long that did it? Might have been Chris Long. Somebody, I think Joe Pack just said in the chat. Anyway, gets to talking to this Uber driver. He's like, yeah, I work for PFF. I actually do the grade. I help with the grades.
No way.
Yeah. A damn Uber driver is who's being trusted to do the grades. There's something wrong. That's worse than the Madden ratings. Like when I found out who the Madden rating czar was in control of the Madden ratings, he's a valet parker, right? He parks cars at a hotel. That's what he does full time. And then he's the guy that's the expert on the – I'm going, what are we doing? And when that got leaked out, all of a sudden they got Chad Johnson pretending like he's doing it. He's just the face of it now.
Yeah, so, right.
Really, really interesting stuff. So, yeah, Chris Long went crazy. There you go. Chris Long because Mahomes was graded the highest quarterback. Yeah, so it's wild, man.
That is nuts.
Like Coach Lynn says, it's a tool. That's it. Amen, Coach. And again, take the PFF grade, compare it to the GPS tracking of NFL Pro and those statistics, those advanced metrics, right? Your EPAs, all that good stuff, and then watch the tape yourself.
Yeah.
And you got all the bases covered. But if it's someone that's just, hey, I'm just going to dive into the spreadsheets and just this number, that number, pressure rate, this, blah, 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 blah. At some point, like Michael Lombardi always said, who's evaluating the evaluator, right? That's important.
Three sides to a story, man. And we're only getting one of it with PFF.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's talk wide receivers. So they got Marvin Harrison Jr. Again, last year looked like a stud, 77.7, off to a slower start this year. Not bad, though, 65.4. He's in the slot only 62 of the snaps, 237 out wide. So he is more of a wide receiver. However, he will play the slot if they want to scheme it up that way, right? They've got Wilson in the slot, Michael Wilson, predominantly with I say predominantly, he's out wide 177, but he's got 120 snaps in the slot so far in this young year. Zay Jones, who I think is going to play tomorrow, he is mostly out wide as well. So this is more of your slot receiver right here in Michael Wilson with a 59.3 on the year. So again, when it comes to Marvin Harrison Jr., I had to click on the chat there just to make sure I didn't miss anything, but the private chat that is. So appreciate that. Got me broke up over here. So really what it comes down to is Marvin Harrison Jr. is the guy you want to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Right. When you look at our corners, Keyshawn Nixon continuing to do great things, man. He's 70.6. He's the 24th highest graded cornerback in the league with a 73.3 coverage grade. Man, he is the pass breakup king. I thought, again, if you just looked at the box score and you asked, all right, who got the majority of the catches on him, probably was Keyshawn against the Bengals. But when you watch the tape, I didn't have much of a problem with his coverage, man. His coverage looked pretty darn good to me. He was in Jamar Chase's hip pocket all game. So I thought he played.
He was tracking him. I mean, he was just footsteps. It was in his hip pocket, like you said. It was sticky. So I'm not mad at Keyshawn at all. I think he really played a great game. He's the only one that's given up he's the one that's given up the longest pass of 34 yards. I mean, Matthew Golden hit that with his one 9 route, right? 9 fade there. Nothing to it. So we really just got to start giving the defense a little bit of love, man.
Mm-hmm. And Not So Cool says Wilson balled out against the Colts. So that would have been last week. What was his grade last week? We don't have it, actually. I'd have to go to another screen or I'd check it out. Let us know that stat line if you know it. Not So Cool. Put it in the chat for us. I'd like to know what his stat line looked like for sure. Moving along. Let me get back to Bullard a little bit here. So we talked about Hobbs, 34th overall graded corner. Listen, I know that's not top cornerback, top play, but I think that's pretty stout. That's solid number 2 corner play, right? So Keyshawn, I think, is the big surprise emerging as your number 1. Bullard seems to be improving a little bit, Emilio. That last game, man, he graded out in the 80s.
Yep.
Again, coverage isn't his strength, but boy, is he valuable in the run game with the run fits off the edge and also attacking those underneath routes. My man, that 195 cannot be accurate because he looks thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. That dude looks like, he looks like a linebacker playing slot corner. I'm really excited to see Javon Bullard improve his coverage. Obviously, it's a 54.9 at the moment. PFF seems to think his run defense is worse than his coverage at a 50.7. I don't know what the hell they're watching there because he's a dog in a run game, man.
Yeah, he is. I still love Bull. I'm not going to give up on Bull. I really do think that we have something with him. 10 yards and in, man, is his bread and butter. And we need a nickel. We need the star, whatever you want to call it. We need that guy on this team. We need to be able to have that physicality by the line. Everyone's complaining about the short passes, all that stuff. I mean, Bull's someone that can stop and break that stuff up. He's someone that can break on those bubbles, on those flat routes, anything like that. If he gets up into the 60s, I think people would kind of calm down on him a little bit. But it's tough him being a second-round player and not having a high enough color, a bright enough color on PFF. I think people are mad at him about it. But I do think that this year has helped him a lot just because he's been able to stay sort of in that slot. Look at those snaps. 200 at slot corner. Last year, he was probably 50, 75, 50 over here. He was on the line, all that stuff, just flexing him everywhere. Just let him focus on one thing and get good at it.
Bates with the stats. Appreciate you, Bates. He says Wilson last week versus the Colts, 4 catches on 5 targets for 44 yards. He averaged 11 and no touchdowns, but he did have a long of 30. So I wouldn't say that's a great game, but you catch 4 of your 5 targets, you're doing what you were asked of, for sure. So there was another one here too I wanted to hit. I had it pulled up. Gosh, where was it at? I've already lost it.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late?
Sorry, Coach. I had it pulled up just a second ago. Jeez, get off my back, man. I've lost it. No matter. Anyway, it's all good. I think it was talking about Chase. Jamar Chase last night. So Jamar Chase last night. Here we go. Biz said Chase showed what a number 1 receiver is. No shame, really. Isn't it crazy that after the game, there were Packer fans that were tweeting like, so maybe our defense isn't that bad. Look at what Chase did to Pittsburgh. Emilio, every single time you've seen Chase making a catch against Pittsburgh, it was man coverage, was it not? So now, again, the majority of what he caught on us, that touchdown, man coverage, cover 1 man.
Yeah.
So I think
cover 1 man on 4th and 5, with how sticky and close that cover. I'd like to know the catch probability, for next gen on that one because we were that close to holding them past that 14 points and locking them down.
Yeah, you still get the 2-score win, but you have that for teaching tape too, right?
Yep.
To just like Keyshawn, your coverage, your mirror match. He played mirror match man right there, mirror match press man. Your mirror match press man is textbook. Mm-hmm. I don't know where or when you learned it. But boy, are you good at it. Now we just got to get you finding the ball at the right, like last second, got to be able to find the ball. But again, just the fact that he's covering that tightly in a cover 1 man look against Jamar Chase, I'm happy with it, guys. He's getting paid $6 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
So something to think about. But yeah, if he breaks that pass up, like Jen Wright said, too bad K9 couldn't break it. If he breaks that pass up, oh my God, you're going to hear on First Take them going, this Keyshawn Nixon just went toe to toe with Jamar Chase.
Right.
That's what you're hearing. You know?
Right. And and honestly, maybe with it not, with that catch happening, that's a little bit more fuel for Key, right? A little bit more. All right, I got some more dog in me left. They need to see the rest of this because there's no way I'm letting that happen to me again or anything like that. He did what we talked about. He played it perfect. If he gets beat inside, he can, Chase can body him up a little bit, quick slant, and Flacco's hitting him on the dart, no problem. Your only option is to force him outside over the top and try to make a play on the ball.
All right. That's exactly right. Holmes in the chat says the fact that K9 was on hip means a ton. Very solid coverage. Completely agree. I'm telling you guys, I did not expect this. I did not expect Keyshawn Nixon to come out and play like this. When he said, I'm going to be CB1, I'm going to be real, man. I rolled the hell out of my eyes. I was like, man, come on, Keyshawn. We know you're not a cornerback one. Boy, he shut me up this year. He's looked solid. He looked really good. So, all right. And then on to safeties, of course, McKinney, 62.4. Evan Williams, Emilio. This kid is now the 6th highest graded safety in all of
he was the best guy around.
76.9. And what's crazy is it's not just post safety. It's not just Spurs safety. They're moving him all around, dude. Like and it sounds like they're giving him and Xavier McKinney freedom to choose.
Yeah.
Do you want to play center field or do you want to play in the box? You want to play the spur? You look at his snaps. Free safety, it's showing 193 snaps. He's in the box 65 snaps. He's also played slot corner technically 57 snaps. It's been really, really interesting. He's been on the D line 7 times, which means he was mugging 7 snaps, right? Evan Williams is that dude. He's that dude. Tip your cap to our boy Goody. He found him one, man. Last year, 72.3. Now this year, 76.9. My God, man. That's a diamond in the rough, bro.
In the 4th round, man, nonetheless.
112. There was 111 players Emilio taken before him.
Yep. And again, plays on kick coverage, plays on punt return, punt coverage, kick return. You have to sometimes use your best players out there on those things, and it's just got to happen. He's doing well. I love his mentality. I love the way he thinks about the game. He's a super, heady player. I think he loves sort of the, kind of what we do, just like the mechanics of it, where you need to be, the different zones, different coverages, how he can get himself into that game. And maybe Evan and X had that ability to flip. All right, let's maybe Evan's going to be dropping into, post a little bit more these next couple of weeks, get X in there, get his nose, stuck in there, see what we can do. And, here or there, we're going to get a turnover force. These two are going to make it happen. We're going to get a couple up front with the D-line, with the linebackers. It's just all going to start to come together.
As Jen Wright says in the chat, no sophomore slump with 33. No way, no how. Completely agree. And Reef makes a great point. CV was able to break up that pass. What does that say? It says he's got a hell of a grid is what it tells me.
He does.
I'm telling you. But that's the beautiful thing is we're sitting there breaking down this lineup, Emilio. We're not even talking about Carrington Valentine, who's technically on the bench here.
Yep.
And boy, oh boy, I love me some Carrington Valentine. When he gets an opportunity, is it just me, or does it seem like when he's on the field, he just flashes, he shows up like that one pass break. Now, has he played perfect? Absolutely not. But the fact that he had that pass breakup was really impressive on Jamar Chase. So,
CV's been a dog for us. I was just looking. His coverage grade for the year so far was a 76.1. He's been targeted 16 times, only 9 catches, 56% receiving for only 99 yards, 11 yards a catch. He's been a dog for us, man, and he's not getting mentioned a lot. Yeah, he's maybe not playing as much, but he's also not getting mentioned a lot, which means as a corner, probably having a good game, probably doing pretty decent.
That's exactly right. And his defensive grade, overall PFF grade, I know you mentioned his coverage grade is 76.1. Overall defensive grade, 72.9. He's holding his own. Yeah. Hell of a year here by Carrington Valentine. All right, let's move along to the Packers offense against